this is Timur Hussain standing in for freelance reviewer Richard Wakeling for his review of Need for Speed Payback. Need for Speed Payback is the kind of arcade racer that never requires you to lift your foot off the accelerator. Its brazen drifting is effortlessly achieved with aggressive cornering and feathering the brakes, and judicious bursts of nitrous are your best friend down any stretch of open road. But Payback's arcade sensibilities aren't enough to save the game surrounding it from wallowing in mundanity. Payback takes its cues from the Dwayne Johnson-centric Fast and Furious movies, with heists and over-the-top action as the order of the day. It features a derivative tale of betrayal and vengeance set against the backdrop of an expansive open world that surprises with its range and variety. The faux Las Vegas of Silver Rock is a glistening urban jungle of glitz and greed that gradually broadens out into sun-kissed deserts, precarious mountain ranges, and the twisting turns that skirt through its forest wilderness. Fortune Valley's slice of diverse countryside is picturesque at times, but its locales are never distinct or memorable enough to make a lasting impression, and speaks to an open world that fulfills its role without ever standing out.
LOL! Did you just LOL out loud?
And the same can be said of Payback's story. After our three plucky protagonists are double-crossed during a heist gone awry at the game's outset, they set a plan in motion to exact revenge on their conniving defector and the ominous criminal syndicate she represents. It's a simple enough conceit that gives purpose to the game's structure, as you're tasked with defeating various archetypal racing crews in order to earn a shot at your nemesis. But there's also a kind of forced banter that's become commonplace in video games and is dutifully featured here.
Hey, visitor center. I'm a visitor, and I am not going to your center. Ha! Take that.
All of this might have been bearable, but the narrative is so prevalent in everything you do that there's little respite from the hackneyed storytelling. Infrequent story missions do at least latch on to the pomp and spectacle of Payback's Fast and Furious inspiration, but it falters here too. While these moments of vehicle-based histrionics feature its most visually arresting set pieces, they're frequently spoiled when the game rips control away from you just as things are getting interesting, in favour of a canned cutscene. This might look more cinematic, but being forced to watch a scene you could feasibly control from behind the wheel is incredibly disheartening and feeds into Payback's inherent dullness.
Jets? You got this? Jets? That's what I'm talking about.
Good job, team. Let's take this baby home.
Like previous Need for Speed games, you'll pull up to checkpoints within the open world, with race, off-road, drift, drag and runner events providing plenty of variety. Race and off-road events speak for themselves, and drift competitions offer an anomalous thrill. Getting your car sideways is so easy that there's a singular pleasure in simply seeing how long you can maintain a drift for, while drag events are short and sweet, but soon grow repetitive as you're essentially just staring at a meter to time your gear shifts. Meanwhile, simple runner events focus on police chases and time dashes between various points on the map. The problem is, outside of drift events where it's a non-factor, the sense of speed in Payback is startlingly lacking. The speedometer may say so, but there's no tangible sense that you're hurtling down the road at 160 miles per hour in a fuel-guzzling death trap. Motion blur attempts to sell a fast pace, but never quite captures a sensation that the world's rushing by. It's all surprisingly pedestrian, with passive AI and police chases that are elementary. The cops might be aggressive, but you never have to outthink or outmaneuver them. Escaping is as simple as reaching a specific checkpoint. This all combines to make a game that's bland and unfulfilling, and is only exacerbated by the sheer amount of grinding you're required to do. Each vehicle you own has 6 slots for speed cards that represent various parts under the hood, and come with perks that will increase particular stats and your car's overall level. Each event has a recommended level, and since there's no scaling, this means you'll usually have to spend upwards of 40 minutes or so collecting speed cards to upgrade your car. You're essentially reaching these frustrating choke points where the only way to progress through the story is by going back and replaying old events in order to earn enough speed cards to bump up your level. And when you factor in the ability to expedite the process with microtransaction loot boxes, it feels geared towards encouraging you to part with real money, unless you want to spend time replaying lukewarm parts of the game over again.
I got some speed trap times I've been itching to post. It's not every day I get to take Where's DB11 for a spin.
Need for Speed Payback's banal racing is only magnified by this focus on grinding. The simple, almost retro handling model provides occasional bouts of fun, but it's never enough to escape Payback's flaws, with an unwillingness to let you partake in its most hair-raising moments, and a general drabness that seeps into every layer of the game. Fast and Furious, this is not, and that's a disappointing outcome.
So, hush puppy.